Good Shabbos, everyone. Well, while tomorrow's reading contains one of the Torah's discussions of holidays and instructions for their observances, rabbinic literature provides guidance for their observance in the context of complexities of the participants' lives, even those who might be struggling to celebrate. 6 of the 7 holidays mentioned in the Torah are referenced in tomorrow's reading: Shabbat, Pesach, Shavuot, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. Of all the holy days mentioned in the Torah, only Rosh Chodesh is absent in tomorrow's reading. Verses that open and close this discussion of our holy days in our holy liturgy, including as insertions in the Mariv service and before the Kiddush preceding lunch. Ela Moadei Adonai Mikra E Kodesh Asher Tikra'u Otam B'Moadam. These are the times that Adonai set, the sacred occasions which you shall celebrate at their appointed times. Vaydaber Moshe et Moadei Adonai el Bnei Yisrael. So Moses declared to the Israelites the time set by Adonai. Parshat Emor begins with instructions designated for the Kohanim, the dynastic religious leadership. God instructed Moses to speak with the priests, Aaron's sons. And then the text shifts to God directing Moses to engage all of the Israelites regarding religious responsibilities and activities for the entire community. Daber el bnei Yisrael v'amarta alehem. Speak to the Israelites and say to them, Moadei Adonai asher tikra'u otam Elohim Moadai. These are my fixed times, the fixed times of Adonai, which you shall proclaim as sacred occasions. And the rabbis found great significance in the fact that in the midst of the instructions to the priests, that God takes time to direct Moses to take time to actually engage the people. The authors of the Mishnah, the main source of Judaism outside of Tanakh, gave thought to the lived experience of people coming to the temple during the set days. The set days can't change. But where we are at any of those set days might. They imagined that individuals would re-enter the larger Israelite community after periods of time apart. The rabbi specifically wondered about the interpersonal and group dynamics when encountering someone during emotionally charged times in their lives. A passage from the Mishnah imagines a variety of circumstances a person might be experiencing when they come to shul and proposes a choreography and a script for the encounter. Typically, most people would enter the Holy Temple in Jerusalem in the temple precincts. They would move from the entrance to the right and go around. But some people would enter to the left based on recent experiences. People would enter to the left if they were experiencing a hardship, including a person in mourning, a person who had been shunned by their family or community, the caregiver of an ill family member, or one who is preoccupied because of the loss of an important object. The passage in the Mishnah goes on to provide guidance to typical pilgrims when they would encounter those circling in the other direction. That is, those who are well and feeling whole and healthy and joyful on the religious occasion who went to the right, all of a sudden they're going to meet the people who are going through an emotionally difficult time in their lives. So they should ask the people on the left, Why are you circling to the left? If the person responded, because I am in mourning, then they should offer the prayer, may the one who dwells in this house comfort you. When encountering, if the person says, I have an ill family member, the response should be with the prayer, may the one who dwells in this house have compassion upon your relative. Perhaps most surprisingly, the Mishnah specifies that one who was nidui, a form of excommunication in which someone was shunned by their family or community, not unlike the Amish, should also circle to the left, so that those encountering such a person could be offered a blessing. The rabbis debated what blessing to offer this person so that they did not feel judged. The consensus blessing is, may the one who dwells in this house grant in the hearts of your family or community members to draw you near. Wow. Underpinning the Mishnah and our entire rabbinic tradition is a care and concern for the affective experience of the observance of the holy day. Though the scripting of exchanges has the resonance of a call and response liturgy, the ultimate goal is human engagement during significant and difficult times. The cases provided are invitations for future innovation. The person moving to the right, who is not at the moment experiencing a hardship, is instructed to begin the encounter not with a gesture, but with a question. Why are you circling to the left? The encounter begins with the caregiver not knowing, and with the deference and respect to the one who is literally walking a different path, a path that is against the mainstream. The model of caring that the Mishnah describes resonates with the insight from psychiatrist Jonathan Shea that healing from trauma depends upon communalization of the trauma. Assuming that people going through hardship will go on pilgrimage for the holy day and will convene with the larger community and will give voice to their suffering, the Mishnah paves the way for a very relational and interrelational approach to healing. According to Dr. Shea, categories and classifications play a large role in the institutions of mental health care, in the education of mental health professionals, and as tentative guides to perception. Similarly, categories and classifications also play a large role in religious systems of guiding people through major life events, letting them know that they are not alone, not isolated, remain a beloved part of the larger community. That is certainly true of Judaism. Dr. Shea continues and warns of the dangers of reifying a care system. All too often, however, he says, our mode of listening deteriorates into intellectual sorting, with the professional grabbing at the veteran's words from the air and sticking them into mental bins. To some degrees, that is institutionally and educationally necessary. But listening this way destroys trust. We sometimes do that. Somebody is telling us about their pain, and we're thinking about, oh, I went through that and I did this, and this happened to me, and this happened to me. And we assume somehow that because we got through it and we're now not dealing with it, that it doesn't matter to us, or we aren't really very compassionate because we have this hyper mode of listening that sorts their surahs into bins of our past realities. The Mishnah instructs that the caring encounter should begin with compassion and deference, with kavod. Dr. Shea advises that before analyzing and before classifying, before thinking, before trying to do anything, we should listen. Listening to others establishes the foundation for building trust for them and trust in us. However, fully open-ended approaches can be daunting and anxiety-provoking. For this, the Mishnah provides us with a mechanism to reconnect after a difficult time apart. The very brief scripting and choreography help us unite without insisting on too much. We can see how Jewish practices around death and dying specifically serve to communalize one's personal grief so that healing may proceed more quickly, more deeply, and more holistically. So, for example, when everyone participates in placing several spadefuls of earth on top of a casket in plain view of the mourners, they know that people did not come to the funeral just to watch or to pay some respects, but from a distance. Rather, by everyone participating in the ritual, the community makes it clear to the mourners that their loss is shared, that we all lost something, and that we're all in the journey moving forward together. Following a funeral, we traditionally go directly to the Shiva home, not just the mourners. When we go to the Shiva house, we don't enter offering the mourners our thoughts and our wisdom. Rather, we don't actually say anything. We just enter the home. And we do not say anything until the mourners speak. We take our cues from them, letting them know that we have not come to tell them how they must act or proceed or get on with their life, how inappropriate, nor that we are going to ignore their pain or bypass them. Rather, we are showing them that we are with them and that we are in it for the long haul. We don't need to say our piece and go. We wait, and then we wait. And then we take our cues from the mourners and speak and behave accordingly. Shiva actually means 7, indicate that we do Shiva for a week. By establishing our consistent presence over a full week, the mourners take in the message, delivered not by pronouncements, but by deeds. And at the moment when they need it most, that our words that we will help them get through this time were not empty platitudes. We can all take inspiration in how our ancient sages urged the entire community to communalize the life challenges of individuals, whether at times of festive gatherings or during times of mourning or at other times. We here have all experienced this communalization of trauma or emotions by being active at CAH. We experienced it this past Wednesday when we came together to support Lois's children and other family members and to support each other during an emotionally difficult time of the loss of a long-term board member and the first citizen of CAH, someone who served as a role model of dignity and as a teacher of the importance of the communalization of experience, that when we celebrate together, the joy is deeper, and when we mourn together, the load is lighter. What a great lesson that Lois, even in passing, continues to teach us. May tomorrow's reading of the Torah reinforce these teachings, and may we have a rich communal life that supports us through our personal journeys. for many, many years to come. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.